we're going to take a closer look at graphite pencils, and Staedtler Mars Lumograph are my preferred pencil. They're lovely quality, very consistent in their manufacture, which is important because graphite pencils contain graphite and clay. Cheaper pencils can often have unreliable quantities and qualities of clay in them, and if you get little hard lumps of clay, they can score your paper and damage it. But this is a half set. I don't have any more of the harder pencils. I don't use them, but that's just a personal preference. So if we take a closer look at the B range, which B is for black, if we look at the B, it's a lovely mid-range value to begin your artwork with. I actually start with a 2B, so that 2B is slightly blacker, but I just find by holding my pencil back further, I can get lovely light finish, and you can actually go very, very lightly. This is on hot press watercolour paper. So I just start with a 2B and do my first layers. As we move up, we get softer and blacker. This is a 6B. And as you can see, same pressure, very black. And I'd have to really, really lighten off the pressure. So that's just the weight of the pencil just touching the paper. But you can see it's very soft and you can get very, very black. I personally find these pencils, anything above a 3B, is a little bit too soft for me. And interestingly, in this set, you don't see it in every Staedtler set, but the 7B and the 8B, and I'll just show you in comparison. So that's a 3B, and you can see how dark the lead is. So I feel like they've added a bit of charcoal or carbon to the 7B and the 8B. So it's got a different feel. It's not as smooth as graphite and very, very black. But it's sort of strange that they've mixed it in with the graphite pencils, and it would be more difficult to erase, I think. Smudgy, and just could leave quite a shadow. And I find, again, coming back to erasing with the 2B, when it's lovely and soft like that, as you can see, that light pressure will erase completely. So it's a very nice grade of pencil to start your drawing with because of that feature. So then we move down to the H's. We take the 2H, again holding it in about the same place. As you can see, it's very, very light. I just find them a little bit hard. I can get that lightness that I like with the 2B, but there's certainly a lot of people use the H's very successfully. So I will just demonstrate with my process with the 2B, starting off with the 2B. If I go fairly lightly, I just find if you use that as your base, and if you want it a little bit darker on the 3B. Actually, in the video it actually looks a little bit lighter than it is. I can get it quite black. That's just medium pressure. Go over it again with the 2B and just a bit more pressure and push that in. And you can see it's actually getting quite dark. Another layer of 3B and maybe another layer of 2B. And that's really, really quite black. But I find if the pencil's a little bit harder than, say, a 6B, sort of just as black, but it embeds into the paper a little bit better using that layering method rather than just popping the 6B on the top. But you've certainly got a full range of colours there. I would steer away, and if you have a set like mine, from those two pencils, because as you can see it's just a totally different colour. So if we jump down to the 4B, you can see the graphite's grey, which is what I love, and this one is quite black, so interesting. But that's, yeah, the range of basically the B's, and of course the H's just get lighter and lighter. The HB sits in the middle. It's a good pencil for writing. Also can do some of your first initial groundwork with the B. And then the F again was designed for writing. It's a little bit darker, but it's a good pencil for sketching. It's also quite hard, so I prefer not to use it. But I do recommend these pencils. They're beautifully made and excellent quality and easy to source.